Before you buy the OGEE Complexion Stick, there are 5 things that I want to tell you. I've tried thousands of products over the past 6 years, and I want to share my honest reviews. They're actually honest, so you have a better idea of what to buy and what not to buy. These are the 5 things that I'm going to talk about for this foundation stick, this complexion stick. There are 20 shades available. It is $64. It is not cheap. You get 0.34 ounces. I've tried a bunch of complexion sticks over the years, and I haven't really loved them all, if you haven't noticed. But if you're not a subscriber, then you won't know that. So just FYI, I have drier skin and these tend to sit a little bit funny. I have a hack for them though that you can use for finish. I'm going to remove what I have on currently and apply this while we chat. The brand gifted me this product, by the way. They generously decided to do that. I am under no obligation to review it over here. You're still gonna get my honest opinion as always. If you like that kind of thing and you wanna keep seeing more of it, take 2 seconds, hit the like button. It really does make a huge difference over here. There are certified organic, cruelty-free, gluten-free, GMO-free, made in the USA ingredients in this. There's a lot of emphasis on the organic elements. They mention the word natural a lot, which, like, okay, natural doesn't always mean not harmful, as we know. And they say it's for all skin types, so I'm going to start applying it. There is a drop of facial oil that I put onto my palm here. I touch the brush to the foundation stick, blendy blendy, and apply to face. So other thing I'm going to want you to know is that there is coconut oil in here, so some skin types will not like that. This is shade Linden. This is skewing a little bit orange yellow for me, so they have an okay shade range. It's not as good as some others I've seen, but it's pretty decent. Otherwise, you're gonna see jojoba oil, coffee seed oil, some really beautiful ingredients inside, waxes, some extracts, one of which is patchouli, and you can smell it. It is there. It does dissipate, but if you do not like patchouli, I personally don't like patchouli, then that could be a deterrent. They are fully transparent with their ingredients. In terms of packaging, they mentioned how they have refills available and they're working on it for other products in the line. The complexion sticks aren't there yet. So I'll mention a more sustainable alternative that's also one of my current favorites, which is out of the thousands that I tried. I have my top 20 back on the website under this section called Britt's Picks. A link to that will be below. So next up, we'll talk about application. This is 1 layer, looking pretty good. Buildable, blendable, very hydrating. There are those oils and things in here. So it was actually surprising with application. I'm like, why am I adding more oil to it? If you have oilier skin, this trick might not work. But for me, and I'll apply it to this side, it's just needed. And it's the one thing I figured out that makes these sticks work. So if you have one kind of rolling around in the back of your drawer, like we all have stuff like that, right? You might be thinking, this just doesn't work for my skin. It gets patchy, clings onto dry patches. Grab it, get some lightweight facial oil. It could even be jojoba. I think sweet almond may be thinner. You don't want anything thick like a castor. That's just And try this trick. This is the BK Beauty 101. I may have mentioned it. And this is 1 layer. It's supposed to be buildable, like I mentioned. 1 layer kind of does the trick. A very little amount goes a long way. And honestly, I could take what's left on this brush, clean off my face, and get a really beautiful evening out that looks a bit more natural. I gave it middle of the road, 3 out of 5 for application. Coverage, they don't mention medium, they don't mention light. I'm gonna say this is a light to medium coverage, and we'll build it. Let's just try a little bit of building. I didn't like this built up. I feel like finish suffered for me a little bit, but that was just my skin. For coverage though, and evening out, I feel like it was very solid on all of the claims. I feel like it followed through. You'll see building absolutely gets it to a fuller coverage. Really wherever I press the brush. Really easy to work with for coverage. It received a 4 out of 5. Finish. This is the part that tends to kind of screw things up for these sticks, for me and my experience. So you're using the oil. When I use the oil with this, the finish on this foundation stick, and I will add a couple other layers because that works into this as well. This is the Mango People bronzer. I'm still really loving it. It's very creamy. Finish for this foundation stick was one of the stronger finishes for this type of product and my skin. Was it perfect and flawless and skin looks like skin? No, I could still see a little bit of separation happening. A very small amount. It wasn't like a crazy amount, but I still saw it. And then one thing that I noticed was after I would apply the bronzers and the blush, something was happening. It's probably two things. The formula was meshing with my skin's oils, which is great. I think that happens an hour out into my day, it started to look better. But there's something that happens with creamier formulas on top of this. It works really well with products that I put on top. Not only that, but I think the product on top, when it's creamy or even a gel, this is the Say Gel Blush, it adds something to this foundation I noticed, and it creates a nicer finish for this. So the more I work with other products on top of it, the better it looks. It's kind of wild. And you can see a glow, there's lights, you know, coming off from these angles, but this is not a shiny product. That is a result of things that I'm putting on top, and the oil also adds the glow. If it's on its own and you have oily skin and you're worried about that, I just wanted to make a separate note about it. And plus, normally I add SPF on underneath, so I didn't even do that. And it works well with that, a cream or an oil. It kind of works well with both, which is surprising because there's a lot of oils in here. So it seems to be very, very flexible. Overall for finish, it received a 3 out of 5 because it got there, but it took a bit. I might give it a 4 out of 5. I'm not sure yet. Wear test, there are no claims about the wear test here, so I don't really have anything to base it on, but I test these for 8 hours every time. And I'm gonna actually compare it to another product right now, which is the Mob Beauty Blurring Foundation. I like to compare these to my favorites. It's how I determine whether or not I'm gonna like something. Wear test, this wore really well. As a matter of fact, I would say that this looked better at the end of the day than it did right after I applied it. It just kind of did its thing. Yes, there was a little bit of texture by the end of the day, but really not that much. So for wear test, I am giving it a 4 out of 5, which is pretty strong wear test. The total score here is a 14 out of 20 on the scorecard. It might go up to a 15. Who knows, it might go up to 16. I'll keep trying it. But this is the Mob foundation. I put it on the face. I don't know why I just did that. I never do that. That was the thinner oil. I take the Mob foundation. This is in a shade pink, I believe. And then I just add a tiny drop of oil on top. You really don't need much. You're gonna make a mess out of your palette. That's fine. And then this, I just like bounce off the skin. I actually sometimes like to use a lighter brush than this. Like a less densely packed brush than this is what I'm saying there. But this stuff is great. It's less expensive. Value-wise, it is not the most valuable because you're getting a lot less product. The OGEE has, how much does the OGEE have? 0.34 ounces. In the Mob Blurring Foundation, you're getting 0.12 ounces. However, there are a ton of shades, and if you don't want to invest in a whole stick, because these things last forever, the sticks do, which is a plus, but if you don't want to invest in that, then this is a great option. And it's really, really eco-friendly. They're killing it on that front. They're doing such a good job, Mob Beauty, and I love them for that. The Mob Beauty, I feel like, checks all the boxes. It too works really well with whatever I put on top of it, so I can put the bronzer on top of it. And it's another option you may not have known about if you're shopping for the OGEE stick. Still, it's a beautiful stick. 14 out of 20 is not the most impressive score, but I have to give them honorable mention for giving me some of the strongest Skin Looks Like Skin finish from a foundation stick. I haven't seen it, and I would say they're probably at the top of the heap there. There's the Westman Atelier foundation stick. There's the Merit foundation stick. Those two are probably the two that I would see this getting compared to most. If you do want to see a complexion stick roundup, I have them right here as a matter of fact, then let me know in the comments below if you've tried this and you loved it or you didn't love it. Let us know in the comments below too, because this is just an opinion of one and we got to get more opinions in the comments. And let us know your skin type too. That also really helps. If you did find this helpful, please take 2 seconds and hit that like button. It really does make a big difference over here. I have a playlist for foundations that you can always check out, or you can just beeline it back to Britt's picks. I will see you right back here real soon. Until then, bye.